We found out we were going to Spain in April. Dr. Weidenaar came in and said, hey, I have this big announcement. And we were like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
We got this invite kind of out of the blue in a way, and the more I researched into this, they said that they had gotten our name through a couple of conductors and also seen our videos. We created the choir during finals week, and we had a choir of 32 people.
So 6 weeks ago we had, I think, our first rehearsal 6 weeks ago, and it was really scary at first because we had so much music to learn over the summer, and we learned all our notes, but it's a whole different story learning all your notes by yourself.
I feel like in some ways this is a virtual choir.
Really interesting to practice with YouTube choirs for a few months before actually being with a live choir.
We basically are leaving 4 weeks after the first day of school, and we have to have an hour and 15, well, basically an hour's worth of music ready.
Yeah, there's been more preparation before the first rehearsal than any choir I've ever been a part of, so that will be a new thing for me, is to see how that falls into place.
It has been buzzing with activity all summer long.
So this is just a chart that people have been able to report what they've been working on.
And Brittany Stevens said that she saw a bunch of people towards the top with most of their music learned, so she was like, "Oh, I gotta get."
Yeah, Brittany's
get
the alto
learned.
section leader, so it motivated her. She actually said that. She said Colin and the other three of you were higher than her, so it was like, I got to get working, which is good. And there's choirs from Japan and Far East to Europe, South America, all over the world. Some of them have been together 3 or 4 years. We will have been together 3 or 4 weeks. I think they said 17 doubles and 2 singles.
What's the name of the town again?
Zarautz. But I assume that all the dinners are after the concerts?
Yes, always dinners are after the concert.
Okay.
Someone has to be in charge of the currency exchange because we're going abroad for the first time. A lot of us for the first time, so we don't really know, how all that works. So someone's in charge of that.
Our first rehearsal was in September 16th, I believe.
I'm kind of excited about the fact that when we all sing together, we'll be able to just, let's see. But some people were actually pretty prepared. And
Mary. Arthur was all over it for one.
good, and who else? I know from my years at Central that the students will do, when they're motivated, they can do anything. Teamwork is what's going to get us there. Well, let's see how this goes. So we're going to do Come Let's Rejoice,
Absolutely.
Abend Lied, Stars, Carpenters, and Abide With Me.
The first thing on my mind is just how excited I am to be here and to be back with everyone and all my friends, and I love singing good music with good people.
Oh, me? Oh, okay. This is my first year in chamber, so I'm kind of scared. Like, what if I'm bad? What are we gonna do about that? They're gonna throw me off the plane.
Dragging on the floor, buddy. I guess the floor's a little cleaner for it.
Problem.
All right.
It's just really cool to finally come together and have all of this music the first day.
We didn't stop once, did we?
Just hearing, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Now we can fix this and like think about ideas about blending and all that stuff. So it's kind of exciting to think about our potential.
And Curtis and David were happy with the Basque because they're our two most Basque-speaking people that there are.
They are comparatively Basque experts. Yeah.
People are pushing hard. It's just, you know, this is the third week of school. When you go on a tour like this, you have to be completely flexible. That's why we've had the choir in all kinds of different acoustic. For example, on tomorrow, we're in the jazz room.
Yeah, and this will last forever. Which sets are we doing? 1 and 2. Come, let's rejoice, let's rejoice, come, let's rejoice,
These are Stradivarius models.
Do we still need glass players?
Are there any more?
Made in 1759.
I know, I'm afraid that everyone's just going to be looking at me the whole time and I'm going to like trip and fall.
Is this formation or?
I see and still and still. I cannot dance, oh Lord. I cannot you leave, I cannot dance, so if you wish me to leave.
And I can tell it's an acoustic you're not used to, and that's a good thing for you, I think, to practice with, to get you on your guard. A couple of questions for you. It's not so much a criticism as much as an observation. In this last one, I cannot dance. I don't get any of that. What's the most important aspect of that piece, the whole thing? Rhythm.
I cannot dance, oh Lord.
If I could do this again, I'm not sure that'd be our final piece because, I mean, we're locked into it now, but this is hard.
It is.
If we can do it, it'll be a real coup.
If I'm sitting there as your judge, and believe me, these international juries are very critical. And I know Eric's well enough to know that he's all, you know, Eric's is just so struck by everything nature. He would want this to just sound like wonderment. That would be his word. You have beautiful, clear skies on this side of the state. You go out and look up at the stars at night and you see this huge rainbow of stars up there. He would think of that in his mind. It'd be, oh my God, look at, that's how this guy is all the time. That's just him. So really shape those hairpins, okay? I'm not conducting, you're on your own. Sing to each other. Ready? A little louder. Let it go.
Well, we just finished the first concert, our farewell concert. We're getting ready to go in a few days, and it was a big thrill, a big hump to get over, and we're really glad we got it done.
I'm so excited.
Had so much fun.
This was the first step to just realizing that it's actually happening.
View it as an adventure. We're all in it together. The worse it is, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, the more you can laugh about it years later. Yes, that's right. And as we get on buses and as we have time, we're going to have you share stories with each other. You're going to know each other very well by the end.
Katie Kubota. Holly's back there. Tatiana Perrin.
Okay.
Tatiana.
Amanda.
We need to do this as if we're doing Ovo Somnus of Victoria. John and F again. 3, 4. Tell me what one goal that you think we can attain on this trip.
My goal is to live in the moment and enjoy every single thing we do and let everything, every frustration, every mistake, every problem that comes be right behind me the second it's gone.
My personal goal is to be moderately healthy by the competition.
I want to have us all trust each other more on I Cannot Dance and My Te Agawak. And
we trust the amount of work that we put in and trust that we can be at that level of musicianship and connect more with every piece.
Every piece to be at the same level musicality-wise as stars, especially I Cannot Dance.
I hope that we all can get some sleep.
Sorry, I can't see what you're pointing to that's passing by.
yeah.
The front desk has your passports. They're checking them all in per procedure, so you can, after we've checked in and gone to our rooms and put our things away, you can check with them and see if they're ready to give it back to you.
Oh, he's still filming me.
German chocolate.
Is it German chocolate?
Try to stay awake that extra half day so that you can get on this time. If you can fight through it, right now is your lowest time and you start to wake up as we get going because it's 6 o'clock in the morning for what we're used to. Can you tell them a little bit about your program? Because for one thing, one of them speaks 5 languages, the other 6.
Spanish, Basque, English, French, and Arabic.
Sarah, how about
I speak 6 languages: Spanish, French, Basque, English, German, and Russian.
Okay, the guides are going to help us today with our Basque. She said even if it's bad, she didn't say it this way, but she meant even if it's not really well done as far as pronunciation, they'll still love it. And I said, well, we kind of really want to still do it really well. Is that right? Lao gal, gal. Try it again. 2 beginning. Ready and. Okay, lao gal do lal gal.
It's nice that we have the guides to kind of help us out with the Basque. It's really, we cleared up so much of the text and things like that. Right.
Is anyone here? Yeah, this is so.
Well, we just arrived in Pamplona, and as luck would have it, we're early, so that usually involves standing around and waiting for something.
What I'm doing right now is I'm on the lookout for the bulls. They're coming. This city's notorious for bulls, and they come from anywhere.
It's really wonderful, transcendent thing to be able to really, truly believe in everything I'm saying when I'm singing it. And I think everyone can find a connection spiritually or emotionally in some way to something that is just so universal: love, peace, forgiveness. And it's just really beautiful to be able to do it here. It's such a beautiful place, and we're so lucky. Like, I just feel so blessed to even be here right now.
I was digging the guy in the front row. He was really into it. It was great.
There were some parts that were really good, some parts that are iffy, but it'll get better as the week goes.
I cannot dance, I cannot dance.
The way you look at a piece, what you focus on when you're singing is what the piece becomes.
Yeah, with I Cannot Dance, rehearsal today I think was a lot different because we're actually thinking about performing it musically and not just getting the rhythms and the notes right. The more we tell ourselves that it's hard, the harder it will be. But the more we tell ourselves it's a piece of music that we are going to express musically, the easier it got.
I just love the food.
I've been eating just about everything that's been put in front of me.
It's been good. There's been a lot of meat and fries, which is weird to me.
I love how big breakfast is.
The 3-course meals really surprised me at first. I'm not used to eating more than one plate of something.
It's a lot of fish and chicken and fries, but it's really cool.
When I finished on the first night the pasta, I was like, oh, that was delicious. And then, oh, there's more coming.
Full plate.
Another full plate.
If you ever come to Europe, don't get the edible heroes.
Don't eat the money.
Because they don't taste like how you expect them to taste.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to point out today on I Cannot Dance the 16 bars that we don't know, and that's really all that's holding us back.
I loved singing in Ordizia and like just in the square. Like we just all sang in the town square in the plaza, and there's like these little kids like running around us like, what are those people doing? Like,
Playing soccer. Yeah.
Like playing soccer like through us, and just like being like around all this life and everything that's so different and just sharing it musically. Like that's what music is, just sharing life, and we get to do it here.
I was really impressed by it. The entire building is a big work of art, and it was just larger than life is the way that I would describe it. Very majestic.
I'd never seen a church that beautiful. It was just, the architecture was just, there are no words for me to be able to describe it.
El director se llama Weidenaar. Da urteetan aberatzeak 125 urteurrena ospatzen du.
When you're in Europe, you feel the history around you constantly. I mean, I've kind of just lived in like the Northwest my whole life, so I have like this little bubble of the world that I've accustomed to, and that's kind of it. And studying abroad, I think, really gives people the opportunity to go out of their comfort zone and grow, because that definitely has been a big deal, is communicating with people without knowing the language.
It kind of teaches you that there is a lot that can be said without just words.
I went into a cafe and I was honest with the barista. I said, I only speak a little Spanish, and she said she only spoke a little English. In between mixing languages and doing some hand gestures, we were able to get through the order, and it was really nice.
I think it's important to go out and experience other cultures and study abroad, because in the United States, I think we're kind of closed in. We don't really experience other cultures.
Every time I am lucky enough to come to Europe, I feel like I leave a more educated and excited person.
Like even being here for 5 or 6 days, there's so many different things, and I like a lot of them. I like a lot of them more than I like our things.
I really like the zest for life that a lot of the people over here have. They definitely have a high priority for relationships.
People are really friendly. Yeah, they're just warm. They're genuine. You keep saying they're beautiful people.
Just really beautiful people.
I mean, they go after work and surf on the ocean, you know.
Yeah, last night we went out and sat by the ocean and watched at least 100 surfers.
But it's beautiful. I mean, the buildings and the shops and the streets. I mean, it's just the architecture. It's gorgeous and European, and it's just fantastic to be here.
We are creating this relationship with the Honorary Consul of Spain with the President, and we're sitting in a meeting there, and he says, what about León? Could you go to León? And I thought, well, we'd like to. And so long story short, we made the thing work with León, and we'll be going there for 2 days.
I'm just so happy to be here and be alive. Like, people wait their whole lives to come here and do this right now, and I'm doing it. I'm 20 years old.
This has been the most amazing experience of my life.
It's been really hard sometimes to focus on everything that we need to be focusing on, and I think it speaks a lot to everybody's maturity that we are able to go to a rehearsal and then a performance and do everything that we do and really try to stay positive, because it's not easy. It's a choice and it takes effort.
Pretty inspiring to see everybody just kind of come together and really focus and dig deep, and it takes a lot of heart and a lot of tenacity and a lot of passion for what you're doing to be able to accomplish that, and we're doing it.
3, 4. Come, let's rejoice. Good. Hold on one second. Now, the come. Anytime we say come is C-A-H. Okay. If we say come, that's when it's going to sound not as blended.
Each of you individually is probably in tune. You just have different frequencies going on. So that's, canceling some things out. All right? Ready? Go.
Let me see you dance and sing. Let me see you, let me see you dance. Let me see you dance and sing.
Not dance, oh Lord, I cannot dance, I cannot dance, I cannot dance, oh Lord, I cannot dance, I cannot dance, I cannot dance.
I think they are a good example for young singers as us.
I think so.
It's very, I don't know, I think it's amazing, and it's a great choir, and I would like to hear it tomorrow. So
in this part of the city, they are very typical from the Middle Ages. No? You will see that the streets are very narrow. The bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is now closed. The bullfighting made here was very important. The bullfighting, Spain, bullfighting. Mm-hmm. It was sand to the floor.
I don't want to see it.
Right want to see it. No one in front of me. Tell me when I'm there. Okay. Well, not quite yet. I can't look at you. You've got people in front of you. Look at it.
Oh no, he just got my face.
Seeing it for the first time, it's just like, yeah, it took my breath away. Like, I think that's going to be like one of the biggest things for us because it's such an emotional place, and it's an amazing opportunity.
I think walking out and seeing it for the first time. Yeah. It was just, and with the lights in the evening, it was just gorgeous.
We didn't really realize it was coming up, so it snuck up on us, and we just rounded the corner, and it was there. This like gargantuan, amazing place.
I am just amazed. I've studied this in music history and in art history, and just seeing all of the triune shapes, and it just represents the Trinity, and it's just really cool and it's really powerful, and I'm really excited to be here.
The proud of the city is the cathedral, no? The cathedral belongs to the church, but it's like the proud of the city of León, no? They built in the 13th century, and it's very, very difficult because the flying buttress, and the stained glasses is considered one of the whole stained glasses is one of the best, not in Spain, in Europe.
I was so devastated when I walked into the cathedral and they said no tripods. I'm thinking, how in the world do you get a picture of this dimly lit, these stained glass windows that are just amazingly beautiful since, the 1500s, and here they are, and I can't get a good picture of them. Finally, I had our translator ask the lady if I could use the tripod just now, since it wasn't open for tours. We were in there all by ourselves for those 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. But they let you do the tripods then?
They let me do the tripod.
Was it because there were no tourists there?
Because there were no tourists, they finally said, yeah, go ahead. So I went all through the cathedral while you guys were practicing, and I got some amazing photographs.
When I first saw the León Cathedral, I was pretty speechless. We had a moment outside the cathedral where we all stopped and we sang a part of Abide With Me, and I don't think it really hit me until that moment, and then I reached over and I actually grabbed the people's hands next to me, and in that moment we actually all started crying.
Oh, the first time I saw the cathedral, I cried. I couldn't hold back the tears. It was the most powerful thing I'd ever seen.
You walk up to this cathedral, which is the most amazing building I think I've ever seen.
Getting to see it lit up at night was just a moving experience.
Happily for us, it was the night before we were going to actually sing. I was in tears.
Well, standing in the line in the rain outside of the cathedral really just proved to me how genuine the people of León were, and just how much they wanted to see us, and what that was symbolic of was really significant to me.
Seeing the cathedral for the first time, and other people's reactions to it as we kind of rounded that corner and just people's faces lit up.
We walk out to the stage and we've got people crammed into every nook and cranny. Some of them in the dark, facing away from the stage. They can't even see the choir. They're just sitting to listen. There had to be 1,500 to 2,000 people at this place.
amazing. I looked up at the last moment of Sanctus and this is just, like, I couldn't think about it, otherwise I would cry. And Dr. Weidenaar started to tear up and I couldn't, because it was just, it's so humbling to be here and have all of these people here.
Happy and fortunate to have had this opportunity with all my friends.
It was incredible. Up there, it felt so short compared to what I thought it was going to be. It was so much music, but it felt so short because I was just so in the moment the entire time, and it was amazing.
I've never felt so connected to a group of people on stage before. That is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm still in shock. I think anyone knows how much it means for me to be here. I'm not really an emotional person, but after the end of My Soul's Been Anchored, it just means so much to me. The rest of my life
in the León Cathedral.
Yeah.
Buenísimo. Ay, mira, para estar así horas y horas. Divinos, es divinos.
Gracias por Dios. Did you do a happy dance?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a happy dance in the warm-up room. I'm not gonna do it right here though. So yeah, unfortunately. So.
I will never forget this performance. I have a mental picture of it.
It was such an honor to sing in this space and to have so many people here to come see us and to stand and applaud us and love our music, and it was just unreal.
And this tonight, we came here 45 minutes early. People in the rain stretched around the building with umbrellas waiting to come see us. I couldn't believe it. And my students were just thrilled.
I can't believe we just did that. It's like, it's crazy. I didn't think I was going to get emotional until we were on stage, but the second we walked up to the cathedral and I saw people lined up, I started crying. And I got all the emotion out then because I was able to kind of keep it calm a little bit during the performance.
Man, some of those pieces, like Peace I Leave With You, the end of that just got to me.
It kind of amazes me that this thing we do has been, we're singing history pretty much here, and in history. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
I would like to go.
Yes, she would like to go to America from now to all the life, but it's difficult for us.
We have exchange programs. Our music program, we have a lot of students from Scotland. They come a lot.
Everything was amazing, and it was perfect even though it wasn't perfect. So.
Since the beginning of this trip, I can't stop smiling. I really can't. I've tried.
I couldn't believe the crowd. They were lined up around the block. I think the students should feel like rock stars. We had a standing ovation at the end of the concert. This has got to be the highlight of the trip so far. It's going to be hard to beat this, don't you think?
Caitlin said, I thought the guy was a, what was that you said in a nice way? Ernest?
That I started learning the piece feeling like he was a crazy person, but now I think he's a genius.
Listening is, I've had directors say that listening is 90% of singing a choir. We were absolutely a choir of 31 soloists dancing with the conductor. And in that, it was this magical thing that happened.
So here's the deal. The piece that I chose, it's kind of become a center of the trip. It's our last piece of our first set, and it's a competition set. It's called I Cannot Dance, O Lord, Aaron J. Kernis, and it's 90 meter changes in 170 bars. We've had a really hard time with this thing. And so Josh is listening to today's version of it, and we spent at least 3 or 4 sessions of, say, 15 or 20 minutes just digging in and going, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? How do we fix this? So he's listening to today in the León Cathedral, and everybody who's heard it so far is just going, this is cool.
Just the fact that you can go from having these mistakes in this really complex song to a couple days later it's sounding professional.
Wow. I got goosebumps because it sounds like a professional choir.
That's pretty awesome. I remember the first time we tried to sing that at retreat, and I can't believe that we're actually able to sing that now. Like, that's incredible, and we're able to sing it in one of the greatest places to sing maybe on earth.
Wow. That is incredible.
It's just really cool to hear that, especially in this space. I'm proud of us.
Because I told her yesterday, and he told me, yeah, you will have a free room, you know.
Every day, except for one, we've been able to rehearse from 2.5 to 3.5 hours.
I feel like every single day has been actually 2 days, like 2 very different days. Our rehearsal tends to be one thing, and we're like, it's either, emotions are high either way, good or bad in rehearsals lately, just because there's so much going on and so much pressure.
I think somewhere in the beginning of the week and towards the middle of the week, tensions were a little bit high.
But today was just really fabulous to hear us put our hearts into the music. We finally saw every piece of hard work that we'd put in come together, and we made just beautiful music today.
For some reason, today was just so great.
Today was an affirmation that we can do this, and it was really nice to get through it and feel like we were all at the same place.
León's been kind enough to let us hear recordings of ourselves, which we use every day. Sounded artificial.
I think we don't need to do anything
You
there.
could put that crescendo in.
The bass on the top, you're losing the space of it should be more forward.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you're kind of going
You should more forward.
Yeah, you guys, we have done a recording of this, we submitted it. We've had me put little lines on my iPad up on the screen, 2s and 3s and 1s of why we know this section.
Yeah.
And the part before we know it, we just have to do it. We can do it, we can do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
We can do it.
We will.
And you just heard yourselves, you outsing vocal assets on 2/3 of that song.
Yeah.
You do. Anyway, when we get there, we have about 15 minutes before we're on stage. Your job is to look at this when you're getting ready for it. It's just another concert. That's no matter what else, that's what you have to do. And what got us here is what we're going to do on stage. All right, that's all I want to say for now. We've got about 15 minutes till we're there. Standing on that competition stage was an amazing experience. I was proud of how far the students had come in 6.5 weeks. They delivered an inspiring performance, one of the best half hours of music I've ever conducted. And as for I Cannot Dance, O Lord, we nailed it. To quote one of the judges, it was like driving a Porsche. And the result? We earned 84 points. No, we didn't win, but we did finish within 6 points of the winning score. A strong showing at one of the most prestigious competitions in Europe. The next day, there was a luncheon for all 16 choirs, and there were hundreds of singers from all over the world. I'll always remember the impromptu performance of Maite Agoak, conducted by the composer, with chamber choir and choirs from South America and Eastern Europe singing. Music truly is a universal language. But we weren't quite done yet. The competition was over, but we had one final concert to go. this one at the home church in Tolosa, and there would be 4 of the 7 judges at the concert. I will never forget that concert. The singers really showed what they were made of. Yes, we sang well, and yes, it was our last performance of this amazing adventure. Sarasola, the composer from the luncheon, conducted them again in his Maita Goak. They were supremely musical. But my favorite part was watching them sing Stars. 5 minutes before the concert, I asked Judge Brady Allred to conduct the choir. Brady commissioned the piece, so he knew it well. His downbeat was the first time the choir ever had seen him conduct, and yet they made music with him as if they had worked together for weeks. It was one final peak experience in an unforgettable trip. Finished. The competition committee and 4 judges joined chamber choir at our final dinner. After I told the choir how proud I was of them and acknowledged the huge amount of work it took to get here, we enjoyed a final opportunity to sing for our gracious hosts. What a wonderful ending. We truly had danced as one.
Don't mind the weather when the wind don't blow. Hop up, my ladies, 3 in a row. Hop up, my ladies, 3 in a row. Hop up, my ladies, 3 in a row. Don't mind the weather when the wind don't blow.
Oh, a grasshopper sitting on a railroad track, sing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Up picking his teeth with a carpet tack, sing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Pretty well, pretty well, pretty well. For I'm going to Louisiana for to see my Susiana, singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Oh, I got a gal and you've got none, little Liza Jane. I got a girl that calls me hon, little Liza Jane. Oh, 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 oh. Little Liza, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. A traveler was riding by that day and stopped to hear him practicing away. The cabin was afloat and his feet were wet, but the little fiddler didn't really seem to fret. So the stranger to the fiddler man seems to me. You better mend your room a bit before you watch to see what the fiddler man replied. He was fiddling away. Oh, I couldn't mend it now because it's such a rainy day. old Dan Tucker's a fine old man. Washed his face with a frying pan. Combed his hair with a wag on a wave. And died with a toothache in his tail. Get out the white tea, old Dan Tucker. You're too late. Now there's no way.
Oh, I love to go up fishing on a sunny summer day just to watch the perches and the catfish play with their pennies and their pockets and their buckets and their pants. Would you like to see the ladies do the hoochie-coochie dance? Turkey in the straw, ha 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 ha. Turkey in the hay, hey hey hey. Well, it's just not a nice alcohol. And you know turkey in the straw. Yankee Doodle came to town riding on a pony. Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle do or die.
Glory, hallelujah.
I dance with the gal with the hole in her sock and her heel kept her rocking and her toe kept her knocking. And I dance with the gal with the hole in her sock and we dance by the light of the Buffalo gals. Won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon? The traveler replied, that's all quite true, but this I think is the thing for you to do. Get busy on a day that's fair and bright, and go and patch your review till it's really good and tight.
He was practicing a reel, he was tapping out the rhythm.
You can get along, he said. You never got never kiss a drop of day, it doesn't rain. Thanks for listening, that's all.